Can a free 3D printed balisong be any good? That's a question I hope to answer today, but that does require me to answer a few other questions. 1. Does it flip well at any skill level? 2. What purpose does it serve? And 3. Is it worth printing? Today I'll be talking about the Canvas V1 Trainer, designed by Liferix Designs, a balisong maker who works a lot within the 3D printed scene, especially with the Rhinix, their resin balisong. The canvas was designed to be an open source balisong for the following purposes. 1. To let anyone print it themselves. 2. To let anyone modify to create their own balisong design. And 3. To understand the design of 3D printed balisongs. Personally, I really like the idea of this balisong, and spoiler alert, I actually just like the balisong itself. Now, let's get to those questions. Does it flip well at any skill level? The better you are at flipping, the less important how well a balisong flips matters to you. Because once you're at a level that you can flip and execute most tricks comfortably, the balisong stops being the limiting factor. Any top tier flipper can whoop my ass with a squiddy while I'm sporting the tsunami. So here's a not so scientific test to see if this balisong can flip well enough for a beginner. And I can show you side by side footage of me flipping with my right hand and with my left hand, of which that I can't flip at all. The right hand is to show how easily tricks can be executed by someone more comfortable and confident in their flipping versus my left hand that is less confident and doesn't have the muscle memory of performing tricks hundreds of times, similar to what a new flipper would experience, to perform the tricks well and or consistently. It's still not totally fair, as I kind of have muscle memory in my right hand that can transfer bit by bit to my left hand, even though you can still kind of see how rough my flipping is. Despite how bad my left hand is, it still flips wonderfully, and I think that any beginner flipper could flip this better than a CCC. Because the designer of this balisong understands balisong design very well, they have considered things such as balance and weight distribution when making it, leading to the canvas being a very competent flipper. So yes, I do think that it can flip well at any skill level. What purpose does this serve? And before we can answer that question, let's consider the following. So a lot of people, including myself, started with the CCC, this thing right here. And that can absolutely ruin your first impression of balisong flipping. Because not everyone knows that there are quality makers out there making quality, well-flipping balisongs. And for a lot of people, it can start as simple as an online impulse purchase, again, such as me when I first started, or by going to flea market or farmer's market and seeing some real cheap ones for $20 to $30 and deciding to buy those instead. However, with every CCC I've flipped, they've always had these following issues. 1. Having a bad design leading to poor weight distribution and, of course, poor flipping performance. 2. They're all cheaply made, specifically, again, CCCs. They have bad tolerance, so they're going to rattle like crazy. They're going to be less durable. They can break on impact or honestly just by even flipping too much. However, if you just take time to YouTube or Google what is a good budget balisong, then you can start seeing options and prices. Now you see a decent starter balisong in the hobby is going to be at least $40, and that being the Navalis Extrusion, a metal trainer made by a Chinese company. If you have the funds for it, by all means, you can and should just purchase that. You're going to buy from a US based company. The closest thing that flips as well as this is going to be the Squiddy B, which is a higher quality feeling balisong, but it's also going to be significantly more expensive at around $55, and it's still just plastic. Considering how cheap this was to print and how well it flips, I believe that the best case scenario is that this balisong can be an amazing first place to start for 1. Those who can't buy balisong but may have 3D printer access either from a friend or family member. 2. If you want a competent, cheap beater bally. 3. If you have a 3D printer and want to get a friend into flipping without spending too much money. I think the canvas will fulfill all of these purposes well. This is a fantastic first balisong that can perform almost any trick you want, albeit it is not the best, but it's a good all-rounder that can get anyone started. And that leads to the final question, is it worth printing? The best part about this is that the files for the Canvas V1 are free, and it took less than 2 hours to fully print. Hardware was around $18 for this entire assortment of hardware. Mind you, this is excessive. I'll be using that for other projects with my 3D printer, so it's a worth it payment for me. And of course, you can also pick and choose the filament that you use for the canvas. I went with Inland PLA Tough, and it's handled a lot of hard drops with no lasting damage, which is quite impressive in my book. There are plenty of other 3D balisongs that you can print, but so far out of the 3 to 5 that I tested, this is going to be my favorite. This is by far the best performing, as the biggest issue with a lot of other 3D printed balisongs is that they lack weight and they suffer horrible weight imbalance distribution issues. And mind you, not everyone understands balisongs, and not everyone that designs it for flippability in mind. Some are just to purely look cool, like the Valorant one, and that's perfectly okay. Without proper weight distribution or just weight overall, there won't be enough momentum to properly propel the balisong as you flip. And as you can probably see with other examples of 3D printed balisongs that you might find on YouTube, the design for this one is to include that hardware that can add weight to the right places to make it flip better. Granted, it is not a perfect balisong. For one, you will need to have access to a 3D printer. 2, you do need to buy hardware. 3, it's still a very, very light balisong. 4, it has horrible tolerances. You can actually just see it walk. 5, it's incredibly blocky. And 6, it has no jimping. As someone who's flipped a lot of balisongs and has a privilege too, I still like to flip this one a lot because it's a fun flipper despite its shortcomings. I also happen to actually enjoy the lightweight of it, and some of the problems that I mentioned are nitpicky, but with all of the praise that I've given it so far, I also want to temper any expectations for beginner flippers out there that think that this could be the end-all be-all. And that's not what this is designed to be. This is designed to be a good first flipper, a good beater, or just to get anyone to try flipping to see if they like it without spending $40 for a good balisong. If you decide to print this balisong for yourself, here are just a few things to note. The pivot screws do back out, and you will need to Loctite them or just super glue them, as you can see here. Tolerances aren't perfect, again, and they can vary from printer to printer, so the build process can be incredibly frustrating, especially for the handle assembly. There were 2 thick slabs with inserts in between that didn't fit well. And these screws for the pivots right here, where it has swing, they cannot be fully tightened or it will bind. So they will have to be slightly loose in order to have the full swing. And last but not least, it's going to be durability. Durability will heavily depend on your filament, so choose something that will have high impact resistance. I absolutely love this balisong, and I'm fortunate enough to have a 3D printer to make this. And of course, we have to give massive thanks to Liferix Designs for taking the time to design this and of course make the files free. It's a wonderful gift to the community, and honestly, I might give some of these away either to any beginner flippers out there who might want one. Just gotta let me know, and of course if you're in the US, and maybe to some friends who might be interested in trying out flipping. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really hope you found it helpful, and I have noticed some more balisong designs on Make Your World for Bamboo Labs, so hopefully maybe those would also be good options for me to try out. If you guys have any questions, suggestions, please let me know down in the comments, or if you just want to say anything, I'll be right there to respond. Thank you guys so much again for watching. Please take care of yourselves. Please take care of those you love. Be a kind person. And of course, have a wonderful day. Thank you.